welcome to Cricket8's Team Talks, and today we're going to talk about CSK. Let's just start with this. They've got a new captain, and they seem shocked that they have a new captain. It sounds like MS Dhoni told them at the last minute. We know he's a legend, Meeks, but, this is a new era. It's not the first time they've tried to move away from Dhoni as a captain, of course. Jadeja briefly did it and then gave it back. This time, we're pretty sure this is the end. He's been such a big part of CSK. How do you think the transition will be?
Well, pretty good by the looks of it. They've started off pretty... But it's one of those questions, was he really not captain? Because remember when they beamed onto him at the start and he was still directing traffic. So it's one of those, but it has to be a transition period. He's been so instrumental for CSK for so many years. He's one of the all-time Indian greats, and you don't just let someone like that not still have an influence over the team.
He's too natural a leader, isn't he? I mean that's the best way of putting it, Rob. Like we did see straight away when he was still moving stuff around. His brain isn't going to be turned off because he's not captain.
But if you're Gaikwad, you don't not ask Dhoni, do you? Like he's genuinely an all-time great when it comes to knowing stuff about cricket. And if you've got a guy that is a genuine all-time great and knows stuff about cricket, you're asking questions about cricket. And Gaikwad didn't look like a man that was going to stamp his authority and say, listen, MS, just
sit in the corner and shut up.
You do a bit of keeping, and if there's 2 balls left of bad pace, you can bat, and I'll run this show. He didn't do any of that, and nor would anybody in the world, would they? Gaikwad did fine. He asked MS what to do, and MS told him, and then he did that, and that's what I would do as well, and good on him. And yeah, MS can go out however he wants. He can do whatever he wants. He can open the batting for the rest of the season if he wants, and no one will mind. He won't do that. He's doing the right thing. He's still very good at wicket keeping, even though he's my age or whatever he is, and possibly in slightly better physical nick than I am.
Similar athlete,
similar athlete. No, good on him, and good on both of them.
They had a problem with their middle order last year, a little bit. CSK, not terrible, but it didn't produce the runs in the middle of the game that they should have. They've gone out and got Daryl Mitchell. You probably would have played against him when you were in New Zealand.
Yeah, I played against him. I was at Auckland, and where he was.
He was not at Auckland. Wellington.
Yes.
Yeah. Big dude.
Yes.
For a batter.
Yep.
Broad shoulders. We've already talked about the fact that his father was a rugby player. Ben Stokes type jokes out there. He's a really sensible player. He's a really good technical player, and he can miss hit sixes. It's a good combination, right?
He's a hell of a player. As we were saying, never really seen someone hold a better pose when they hit the ball down the ground. He's a really nice, majestic sort of striker of the cricket ball. But yeah, I think he's going to be handy. I've really enjoyed watching him when he's played for New Zealand. I think he's been really instrumental in their side at times. He has the ability to win games with the bat, and I think he's going to be very important for CSK.
Devon Conway, Rob, is not. It might come at the end of the tournament. They've gone with Rachin Ravindra, which is a different kind of option. But there aren't too many teams that you would say would be able to handle losing someone of the quality of Devon Conway. And so far, anyway, early in the season. But Rachin Ravindra is a pretty good replacement, right?
Yeah, well, you would have said during the World Cup there aren't too many international teams that can handle losing Kane Williamson, and they went, well, let's let this number 7 and occasional off spinner have a go, and he was one of the best bats in the World Cup, if not the best. He was that good at batting during the World Cup. And I watched Ravindra when he was a 7 playing in the Super Smash or Georgie Pie or whatever it's called this year.
I miss the Georgie Pie so much.
I don't think I'm ever going to talk about cricket without mentioning Georgie Pie. It's got a special place in my heart. But he was awesome, and there were no numbers that could have told you that he was going to be awesome in the World Cup. And in this, you go Conway and Gaikwad, there's a proper opening partnership, there's your platform. And there's no reason to think that Ravindra would have been any good at T20 opening, but he played against Oz a month or 2 ago and got 68 off 35, and you go, well, actually, maybe he is amazing, maybe he can do stuff. If he does what he did today, 37 off 15 every game, they're going to win loads of games, because that's a great start. So, yeah, he confounds stats geeks, but he's good at cricket, so yeah, good on him. I think actually, the T20 teams that have done really well have had one whacker and one that builds, and they've got that now. So yeah, Chennai look dangerous.
We didn't think Mustafiz was going to play in the first game. He did, took a lot of wickets. he's not always going to get wickets up the top. He's not always going to get wickets in the middle. If he can just do his job at the death, because of all the different spin options, and they've now got Ravindra who can bowl for them. They're just very good at being balanced. We saw today they batted until 9 or 10 even without the super sub coming in. Just a very balanced side, aren't they?
Well, that's why they've always kind of been there or thereabouts. Finalists, how many times? They finished runner-up last year. I think they were. Yeah, there was.
They won last year.
They won last year.
Yeah,
they won last
year.
They won. My bad.
You said that, and I was like, oh my god, if I missed.
I was looking at the wrong stat sheet before I came.
There's a lot of IPLs have been played.
Well,
and they've been good in lots of them.
Proves my point. They are still, a very good outfit, and they've got people covering all sorts of different bases, all sorts of different styles of play as well. So I think they'll continue in the same vein this year.
Yeah, no, they look like a good team again. We'll have to see how it all develops, whether Devon Conway comes back, what happens with Deshpande. We can't cover him in this video because we probably need a 45-minute deep dive into everything there is about him. But we'll be back again with more videos on CSK and other teams as well here on Cricket 8.